there, my name is Chris Palmer with ChrisPalmerMarketing.com, and in today's video, what I'd love to share with you are the different types of backlink anchors that you're underutilizing. Most notably, what I'd like to point out is a highly unutilized backlink anchor text strategy that nobody's out here doing except for top performing websites. When I'm taking a look at high competition niches where I'm competing for very hard keywords, real estate keywords, law firm keywords, hard keywords in big cities, when I look at the backlink profiles, the anchor text profiles, they're stacking their anchor text. But before I get into the video, I have to point out ChrisPalmerMarketing.com for any and all of your SEO needs, regardless if it's consulting, maybe you just want to learn more, you need training, or if you want done for you services, I have it. We can perform it for you. But with that being said, let's get into backlinks, backlink analysis, and anchor text most notably. So let's take a look at this together. Before I get walking through it, let's break down these anchor text and what they are and what they mean, and then we'll talk about stacking and how you can utilize it in order to get ranking increases, because it's all about context, okay? So let me first lay this out for you. Bear with me here. So first and foremost, we can both understand, I'll use my own site as the examples, but we can understand what an exact match anchor text is, right? So let's say that we're going for exact, right? Let's say that we're going for, I don't know, car accident lawyer, Philadelphia, or car accident lawyer, Houston, okay? So the exact match would be car accident lawyer, Houston, right? And then if you wanted to get crazy, you could go Texas, all right? So that's an exact match. It's exactly your keyword. Bear with me until the end. I'm going to share with you the stacking procedure of how you can stack anchor text, or ways that you can get more value out of the anchor text, because it's all about context inside of your anchor text. Anyway, brand. Now let's utilize my own, all right? I'm Chris Palmer with Chris Palmer Marketing. So the brand would be Chris Palmer, Marketing. That is a branded anchor text, but then there's branded variation like Chris Palmer or Chris Palmer SEO, right? These are the same types. Now let's get into generic, all right? And mind my spelling, I'm an SEO, not a spelling bee winner. However, generic looks right, but let's keep moving forward here. We can look at visit, all right? So visit or click here, right? You'll see a lot of this type of thing. This is considered generic, or a lot that I also see is website. Now, I'll break down the values and also share with you the stacking strategy, how you can get a bigger boost. But let's keep going here. So we have our exact, we have our brand, we have our generic. There's also variations, all right? And then there's the last one, my personal favorite, which is naked, all right? And what that would be is I'm Chris Palmer at ChrisPalmerMarketing.com. So a naked anchor text would be just like this, all right? So it's Chris Palmer, Marketing.com. This is a naked anchor text. Now, let's talk about power, okay? Which anchor texts to use, and then we'll talk about stacking, which, again, you don't have to take my word for it. Pull out SEMrush or pull out a tool and go and take a look at top performers in very hard niches, and you'll see that they're stacking anchor text. Look at the casinos, the online casinos, lawyers, law firms, chiropractors. Look in top cities or in super hard niches. You'll see exactly what I'm talking about. I don't want to pull out anybody because I don't want this video to be too long here, but here's what we're going to do here. Let me share this with you. So when we're talking about exact match, this is powerful, okay? This is one of the most powerful anchors that you can utilize for your backlinks, all right? But you have to use these sparingly. Branded. This is considered safe, all right? Plus strong. It's not the strongest, but it's not the weakest, but it is one of the safest, okay? Generic. This, in my humble opinion, is the biggest waste of a backlink that you could ever do. Not only are you going to send a backlink, oftentimes spend money, time, or mental resource on acquiring that backlink, getting that placement, right? But then we're going to waste the opportunity by putting visit, which is not relevant to your, what are you, a plumber? Are you a power washer, a house washer, soft washer, a chiropractor, a lawyer, a doctor, a dentist? What are you, right? This does not describe your service, your business, your product, or the value that you add to the marketplace. So why would I ever want to point that at my website? Now, I completely understand that with a lot of press releases and or citations or directory listings that are no follow, right? We oftentimes are going to see generic. But that's understandable. You see, Google has been around since the 90s, and they completely understand these different types of these variations, these different types of texts, and they understand that, hey, Yelp is going to write website or whatever the case is. Like, they know that citations and directories are going to have this generic type, plus they're no follow to begin with, all right? I'm not saying that there's no value there, but if you're going to acquire a backlink, all right, spend money, time, resource, don't waste it utilizing a generic. You're not getting any value or context to the link, all right? Next is naked, and this, all right, in my opinion, are the most powerful. Naked and also your exact match are your two most powerful links that you can utilize. Now, here's what's great about naked, is this right here is also considered safe. And the reason is because this is a naked link. You're not using a webmaster's directive to put a keyword in there. It's not a money anchor text. However, the way the search engines work, though, is they are taking context from the URL. So when you're utilizing a naked anchor text, such as this one right here, HTTPS, let's just copy this so we don't have to type it out. We don't want to wait for that, right? And I have SEO-expert, okay? And this is now the page, and this is a naked anchor text, okay? Not only am I being right, safe, but also, here's the best part. The power is coming because the word SEO expert is in the URL, which is actually making up the actual anchor text. And a double whammy is I'm also getting credit for brand, right? So I get double credit. It's safe and it's powerful. One of my favorite anchor texts. And again, don't take my word for it. Go and check some of the top law firms. Go and check some of these casinos. Go out there and check high competition markets and see the anchor texts that they're utilizing. A lot of brand and a lot of naked and a lot of stacked, which is what we're going to talk about now, all right? In knowing that you're getting credit for these words, because not only am I including brand plus brand variation like Chris Palmer or the word marketing or the word SEO or the word expert, I'm getting credit for all of these, which is why I see that naked is performing the best time and time again, and it's always utilized. Now, where I've also seen a ton of benefit is stacking. And what you're doing is you're taking the concepts that we've learned over time by utilizing the naked, and we're applying them to the exact. Let me share with you what I mean by this. Let's say we have a paragraph or a piece of text that is, Chris Palmer SEO is one of the top SEO experts in PA, and he has a long history of performing search engine optimization to the best of his abilities. Maybe spelled that one wrong, who knows. Hire Chris, probably want to do this, bear with me, hire Chris Palmer, SEO expert out of Houston, Texas, to perform SEO for your personal injury law firm. Today, call Chris Palmer Marketing. Okay? Now, I'm sure this would not be on a page written in this fashion, but I wrote it this way to prove a point here. Okay? And then the rest of the article would go on to be like, John has 13 bushels of tax tips for your law firm, right? Or whatever the article's about, right? Now, stacking your anchor text could be utilized in two separate ways. One of the ways that I've seen time and time again and utilized too many times in order to get ranking increases is by making this the anchor text. Hire Chris Palmer, SEO expert out of Houston, Texas, to perform SEO for personal injury law firms today. Making a sentence with the surrounding text hyper specific. So I made a whole sentence, the anchor text. I was able to get credit for all of these words. And the context, the surrounding text around it is about the exact topic. And not only will I get credit for my brand, I get credit for my primary keywords, my secondary keywords, and the service. And on top of it, as an added bonus, I also have made the most relevant backlink because the surrounding text is hyper relevant to the link itself. Now, I've seen this as well, all right? A lot of people are lazy, right? Myself, hey, I might even be, guilty of this too sometimes. Another way to stack anchor text is, let's say, for instance, you can see here that I want to get brand, Chris Palmer, SEO expert, law firm SEO for lawyers, Houston, Texas. All right. How many times have you, if you're in competitive markets, how many times have you seen an anchor text built like this? When I see this or an entire sentence 20, 30 times, I know that I have a problem on my hands. Like there's someone else that is doing SEO at the level that we're doing it. Okay. So this is stacking anchor text. Either you want to utilize an entire sentence. I know it might seem out of the norm. Most people are most SEOs are so caught up by just adding just the car accident lawyer Houston, something like this, or just car accident or injury lawyer or whatever industry or niche you're in. Or they'll just do generic, like visit or click here or website, or they'll put the brand name. Like, we get so caught up in things of the past that we're not looking at these new strategies that are highly impactful. Google is able to understand things so much better now. And just like how you're stuffing in your title tags, I see a lot of websites doing this now. They're adding extra information inside the title, or they're adding double keywords and variations and then brand in their title, right? You get value from that. They're extending their H tags, right? They're adding extra keywords in there to get extra value for that. The same applies for your anchor text. So I hope that this helps you out. I hope that this makes sense. This is called stacking anchors. Okay. Stacking anchors. All right. You can make an entire sentence in anchor text. Just make sure that the context or the words around the anchor text are hyper relevant, and make sure that the sentence that you're adding makes sense for the article, but more notably, it contains brand, variations, keywords, and primary keywords, so you get massive credit for a hyper relevant link. If you want to do it the easy or lazy way, you can stack them like this. It looks a little bit more spammy, but you will still get credit. My name is Chris Palmer with chrispalmermarketing.com. If you have any questions about anchor text, stacking anchor text, exact match anchor text, branded, generic, naked, anything SEO related, never hesitate to go ahead and ask in the section below. And I always look forward to seeing you in the next anchor text. What is stacking anchor text video? I'll see you in the next one. Have a great day. Bye-bye.